Hello everyone and welcome back. So the next thing we need is to tell the bullet solver that it needs to keep moving the geometry uh, based on their upcoming transformation. And for that we need to declare and provide it with another attribute called animated. So what I'm going to do is the same way we did this. I'm going to say if the geometry is inactive, it means it's animated, and this is what the bullet solver is looking for. Okay, if the geometry is still inactive, it means it's animated and it's going to inherit its incoming motion. If it became active, I don't want it to be animated anymore. I want the sim to take over and do its thing. So we're going to switch animated to equal 0. Okay, I don't have anything. There's another attribute called deforming. We don't have anything deforming with this, so we don't worry about that. And then here, instead of active only, we're gonna copy animated as well. So both of these, which we can do here. We can say if a piece is active equals 0, like we can do it as an if statement as a post process, but this is simpler. So in the RBD bullet solver now, we need to tell it to also override the animated attribute. And let's go back to frame 150. And let's hit play. You see now everything is moving. And see, that's activating. This is new now. And look at how fast the sim is. That's because we're not doing anything crazy in this one. It's only activating and falling. That's it. There's no constraint. There is nothing like that. And I wouldn't recommend adding constraints at this point because it's going to be really complex to integrate them, and it's not going to add to the visual. The more advanced technique would be to work on a smarter version of the activation, so it doesn't activate all the pieces at once. And this is what I go in depth into in the destruction workshop. So this is our new press. Let's go here. Why is it not caching? Should cache the same. I don't know why this is happening. Okay, so this is the new, and we've only fractured them 4 times. And let's compare the original. This is the original one, and this is after. Original, after. See, we're getting all the motion that we want, but also adding the resolution. So now the next part is, how are we going to mix this into the old one? Okay, if it starts at frame 150, then we're gonna have 2 different caches. We're gonna have 2 different mesh, and trust me, it's gonna be a nightmare. So the best thing is, instead of just doing 150 for this one, is to start at frame 1 and let the animation, the active and animated attribute take care of that. So this part is going to move exactly like the old one, okay, until it starts activating. This way we have 2 caches, one complete for the pieces that are up res, and one complete for the pieces that are low res. And it's very simple. You have 2 caches, 2 meshes, done. Instead of having to flip and switch between, oh, this is now where I started simming the up res. It's cheaper to resim everything this way versus having to, switch the geometry or do anything like that. Okay, so we're gonna cache this. I don't need to cache this one. Let me think. Yeah, I don't need to cache this one because we'll continue the next step with my existing cache. But what we can do is, I'm going to show one thing here, how to cache the points. So the fourth input is the simulation points. Okay, and that's what we want to cache. This block will be transformed with these points. Everything else, which is here, will be transformed with the rest, so with the old stuff. So let's do this. I'm gonna merge this. I'm gonna copy the node, the transform points. The transform points, and I'm gonna use transform pieces again. And this is the segment that we're not gonna change at all. Okay, it's working. And then we're gonna combine it with the new segment. So if I play both of them, you're not gonna see any difference up until frame 150. See, it's exactly the same, but one is the up-res and the other one is the low-res. And then after frame 150, it's going to start activating. And so we need to cache these points and then transform this block with them. And this will continue to work as usual. Now, obviously, we need also to provide collision for this, because right now, if this geometry is going to become active and full, it's not going to have anything to go underneath. So we're going to plug this inside the collision. We need to provide that for the mesh. And under collision, it's animated static object. That's what we need, because it's changing every frame, and that's what we want. And I will cache it. I'm going to cache this sim_live. Sim. And I'm going to cache 150 frames. 320. Yep. And then we'll continue in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.